All right, guys, we got Bitcoin pulling back a little bit today. Most likely world events related. We got Bitcoin dominance up a little bit. I know everybody's freaking out. Oh, everybody's gonna get out of the alts now. Alts are going to zero, guys. This happens every single cycle. Towards the end of the bear market, we get some sort of event that brings Bitcoin dominance up. People sell their altcoins and they go into Bitcoin. And even right now, with people selling their altcoins, Bitcoin's really not even up all that much. Bitcoin's really hanging out at 27,500, which, is barely even holding. So that means to me that we're probably going to see a little bit more of a dump on Bitcoin. Maybe we'll go down to 26,000. Maybe your favorite altcoin will go down another 10%. XRP under 50 cents now. I'm glad I did not buy any XRP yesterday. I was talking about a 47-cent XRP. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And I'm going to hold out. I think I might get it. Maybe I'll even get a 45-cent XRP. And I can't even buy XRP right now anyway. Well, I actually could on Coinbase, but I want to buy it on Gemini, and they just will not verify my account for some reason. So I'm working on that. And you have Cardano back down to 25 cents, 24 and a half, whatever. I mean, same old shit. Dogecoin took a little bit of a dump. Dogecoin dumped finally under 6 cents. Litecoin, $63. I don't know, guys. I know a lot of the headlines, like on all the big YouTubers right now, are just like, alts to zero. Alts are going to bleed. Alts are going to bleed against Bitcoin. Yeah, alts always bleed against Bitcoin, going into the bull market. Bitcoin will pump first. A lot of you guys, even when Bitcoin hits $100,000, there's going to be people saying, why is Cardano only $2? Bitcoin's $100,000. I'm going to sell my Cardano right now at $2 and put it into Bitcoin. And then the minute you do that, Cardano goes to $10. Bitcoin always pumps first. That's all you have to remember. I get on a lot of these chats, or I listen to a lot of chats when I'm running in the morning. And like half the people are just like, Bitcoin's going down to $20,000. Cardano's going down to 10 cents. Sell your alts now before it's too late. Like everybody's so emotional. And I think that I get mad, and then I think to myself, wait. I can't be mad at these people. I was these same people 5 years ago. I remember, I'm a runner, so I remember I'd run on the trails, and I'd be like listening to the charts. I'd be listening to YouTube channels and the charts. I would stop my running, pull out my phone, and I'd be like, ooh, and I'd be selling stuff. Well, I'd be like running, and I'd be selling stuff while I'm running. And then, because it's like dumping. And then the minute I get home, it pumps back up again. Then I got to buy back in. Like, I lost so much money just doing all this impulsive shit. But everybody knew the crypto is very impulsive. And that's why I created this channel, to kind of like calm people down a little bit. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance might go up to 55%. Hey, maybe it'll go up to 56%. I don't know. But that's what happens every cycle. This is nothing new. It's not because of the war. It's not because of anything that, a politician said. This is typical cycle stuff. Speaking of the war, I don't know where I am here. Yeah, I was reading this story where, the big news, of course, is the war in Israel. Here's some articles I put up. Man calls Israel supporters Nazis and pigs as protesters face off near Harvard. So a lot of the liberals, and I've been saying this for a long time, a lot of liberal Democrats in America, they hate Israel. They hate Jews. They actually hate Catholics too. They hate anybody who is essentially not not them. And here they're all coming out. You see protests in Europe right now. A lot of Muslims, a lot of Hamas supporters, a lot of Iran supporters, and they support what's going on. I just read a story a couple hours ago where Hamas went in, they killed 50 babies. They're slaughtering everybody in these towns, and you actually have, look at this guy right here. He's an animal. So this is why you can't give an inch to any of these people. They're essentially animals. And this is why Donald Trump wanted to close down the border, because while the borders are open in the United States, these animals are allowed to come into the United States. And when they come in, they become a voting bloc for the Democrats. The good news is, I can tell you almost everybody in my family who is a liberal Democrat is now voting for Trump, or at least not voting for Biden. Because they're so disgusted with what's happened to modern day Democrats. And I wouldn't believe it as much, except for the last poll that came out shows Trump up 10 points. The latest, some ABC poll showed Trump up 10 points. I mean, Trump is killing it right now. And that's because this will only make Trump stronger. And this like this like turns off so many Americans. Like you see all the atrocities that these Muslims, these Hamas people, these terrorists are committing, and you have people in the United States supporting them. Yeah, we get it. You want more land. You're not happy with the amount of land you have in Israel. But if I have 100 acres and somebody steals a few acres of mine and I'm fighting them in court and it's just dragging out and dragging out and dragging out, and I get so mad, what am I going to do? Am I going to rape the guy's family? Am I going to behead his babies? Because that's what these guys do. They're complete animals. And I was talking to some of my friends who are in the military when they were working overseas in Iraq and Saudi Arabia, and they were just saying, yeah, like Muslims, like they have this obsession with like beheading people. It's like the biggest thing, our biggest fear was we would get captured by a Muslim and they would behead us. And it's like one of the reasons the women have to wear the burqas and all that stuff is the men are animals. Like if they see a woman without a burqa, they'll just rape her. So I don't hold back on this channel, as you can tell. I'm a force of good. It's really now good versus evil. And right now you're seeing evil. But what the dummies, the dummy Muslim Hamas people don't understand is that the entire world, other than a few Muslim countries who have no power and nobody cares about, now you've turned the entire world against you. So if they do anything crazy, like they start publicly executing people or anything like that, you have Lindsey Graham right now calling for every time Hamas executes a prisoner or a hostage, we should bomb one of Iran's oil rigs. So things are getting really, really heated. And how does this all relate to Bitcoin? Well, if we do go into a war with Iran and Hamas and we're supporting Israel, we're going to have to print a lot of money to do it. And that's only going to help Bitcoin because inflation, it's not going to be going down if we're like in all these wars. And of course, I'm not a big like intervening in war. Like I always said, like, okay, there's certain wars that the United States should have been in. Like World War II, like we had to go in and liberate Germany. I mean, they were just killing people by the millions. We had to do it. So that would be a good example of having to go in. The Ukraine thing, I don't think we need to have any involvement in that. Ukraine is a corrupt government. They always have been. It's a puppet government. And Russia is not going in raping and pillaging. He just wants to basically take his territory back. Putin's actually trying to win over the people of Ukraine. He doesn't want to dominate the people versus what's going in Israel where Hamas is coming in. They want to behead, rape, and pillage and kill everybody. So we're basically on the level now of war crimes. And when you hit the level of war crimes, that's when I believe the United States should step in, should help. Doesn't mean we should have troops on the ground, but it means that we should be in there supporting them with military, missiles, definitely intelligence. You know, this whole thing, I believe, and this is where the conspiracy theory comes in, there's no way the CIA didn't know this was going to happen. And I really think the CIA, much like 9/11, because the CIA did know 9/11 was going to happen, I believe that they probably allowed this to happen in Israel for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe to fund the military-industrial complex. But there's no way the intelligence didn't know that Hamas was up to something. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, now I'm going off on a tangent, but I know this is a crypto channel. We got to keep this crypto related. But yeah, I think if we are involved in this war now, like I said, I agree with this war. I think we should be helping them with intelligence. We should be sending FBI over there. This really is a good versus evil war, and now you're having war crimes and atrocities against civilians. So yes, the United States should be involved. Ukraine, we shouldn't be involved. That's not really our thing. To me, that's a complete waste of money. Before this whole thing broke out in Ukraine, Ukraine was known as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. All the dirty deals Joe Biden did over there and politicians did over there. It's just a dirty, corrupt country. I actually think Ukraine would probably be better off under Putin because it's just a corrupt fucking country. So we shouldn't really be involved in that one. Now, if Putin was coming in and there's public rapes and he's beheading people, yeah, then you go in. When it comes down to war crimes and atrocities on a big level, like what's going on in Israel right now when you're killing babies, because that's what these animals do. You can talk to anybody who's been in the military. I have a lot of friends who are in the military. You can talk to them. They'll tell you all the atrocities they saw over there in the Middle East and how barbaric these people are. And yes, unfortunately, they're all Muslims. 50% of the Muslim population, when 9/11 happened in the United States, there were Muslims in Saudi Arabia. They were all cheering. Iran was all cheering. Like, it was like half the population of Muslims supports terrorism to get what they want. So there's a major cancer in the Muslim community. And how are you supposed to know the good ones from the bad ones? You know, it's kind of like, I was telling somebody this about Baltimore City. When I drive into the hoods of Baltimore City and I'm working, how am I supposed to know if that hood rat is going to kill me or he just wants to leave me alone? No, I take precautions. I'm armed. I got my Ruger LCP on my hip. I got my doors locked. I got my finger on the trigger when I ride through these neighborhoods. And that's how you have to be dealing with Muslims as well. You have to have that mentality that, wow, okay, 50% of them want me dead. You have to take precautions. And that's just the real world that we live in. And you're seeing it right now. They're flying in on paragliders. They're killing people. They're killing babies. They're raping your wives. That's a good portion of the Muslims. They're very violent people. And you can see it in their Sharia law. If you break anything in Sharia law, they'll chop your hands off, they'll put you in jail forever, they'll murder you, they'll behead you. Like, it's a very barbaric culture. And, you know, just read the Quran, read the way they handle people in these Middle East countries. You know, if a woman doesn't wear her burqa, they'll beat her. They'll beat her to death. I mean, it's a very they're barbaric people. And that's it. You can't even argue with it. Because what's going on in these Muslim countries, they're barbarians. And the way they treat women is barbaric. The way they treat everybody is barbaric. Anyway, so how will this affect crypto? Getting back off on my tangent. Well, if we are in some big ass war, it's only going to help crypto because we're going to be printing more money. But like I said yesterday, I actually thought we'd probably see more of a dump right now in Bitcoin. Now, people are going into safer assets. That's why you see Bitcoin holding and coins like BNB down and XRP down, finally under 50 cents. But guys, this is temporary. This is a buying opportunity for altcoins because much like when the Ukraine war started, see what's going to happen right now in Israel is this is going to be on the news for a couple weeks. Israel's going to bombard Hamas and bombard the Gaza Strip. And then you're not going to hear about it too much. Then they're going to be right back to where they were before all this happened, where they're just kind of fighting back and forth. And it'll be like blips of news. But right now it's national news, so it's making more headlines. All right, what else is going on here? Binance CZ makes bold prediction regarding coming Bitcoin halving. I love these Bitcoin halving predictions. CZ Binance, chief executive and co-founder of Binance Exchange, has published a post on the new Binance Fed platform, part of Binance, not a separate website, and they're shared a link to it on X app. In the post, CZ talked about the upcoming Bitcoin halving, which is approximately 6 months. Shit, I can't believe is it 6 months? Man, time is freaking flying. CZ shared his experience based on the previous 3 Bitcoin halvings. In this post, CZ pondered the question often asked by new members of the crypto community. What happens around the Bitcoin halvings? CZ admitted that he cannot predict the future, so he was just sharing his observations on how the previous 3 halvings influenced Bitcoin and its price. CZ stated that usually a few months before the event, the amount of pre-halving discussions, anxiety, expectations, and hype is bound to increase. Once halving takes place, the Bitcoin jump remains unaffected at least. It will not double overnight, and people will begin asking why. This is exactly what happened last halving. We had a little bit of a pump before the halving, leading up to it. Everybody's like, we're going to double after the halving. It's going to be crazy. We went up a little bit, then we dumped. And then people are like, oh my God, the cycles have been broken. The cycles have been broken. It's all over. I'm selling. I thought we were going to go to $1 million. Oh my God, it's all over. And then as the months go down, Bitcoin slowly but surely goes crazy and makes all-time highs. Also, Binance Exchange has added a Bitcoin halving countdown to our homepage. I remember that they did that last bull market as well. And here are my thoughts on the halving. Per what CZ wrote, the Bitcoin price will begin hitting various all-time highs no earlier than a year after the halving. So that means the halving is coming in 6 months, and over that year, it's going to be a fun fucking year because we're going to be like, it's going to be like a line just slowly going up, and it's going to be a crazy year, guys, and you're going to have a whole year to be taking some serious profits. He also stressed that there is no any proven causation driven by halvings to the Bitcoin price, and history does not predict the future. History does not predict the future, but it kind of does. It kind of does. Yeah, we could go into the halving and we're in World War III, and if we're in World War III, the halving is not going to be pumping no Bitcoin. But if everything goes the way we think it's going to go and the world is just the same old shithole it is today, but doesn't get any worse, the halving is going to absolutely have an effect. All right, this just goes into explaining what the halving is. Okay, so very cool stuff. And CZ usually does have a pretty good gauge on the market, and I agree with him 100%. Here's a good one going back to Israel. Hamas-linked crypto accounts frozen by Israel police with Binance's help. This makes me like Binance even more. Like I've always said, Binance is one of the few exchanges I trust. It's unfortunate what happened to Binance.us, but you can technically still use it. And I really do believe that Binance, throughout history, you know, they've proven, even when they've gotten hacked in the early days, they paid people back. Look, this has to be done. We're dealing with a war on humanity with these Hamas. Hamas is essentially ISIS, is essentially you know, the extremists we saw in Iraq beheading everybody, beheading innocent civilians and reporters. It's the same thing. For whatever reason, when Muslims get radicalized, they just are so freaking violent. Yes, occasionally you get the stupid white Christian who does something stupid, but like, why is it that like almost every terrorist attack over the last 100 years is committed by a Muslim? Like the only one I can think of in the United States that was not a Muslim was that Timothy McVeigh who blew up the daycare like back in like the early 90s, and we executed his ass, and that was one lone wolf. It wasn't like a big organization. It was one crazy white Christian guy. But like since then, like the marathon bombers, remember the Muslims who placed a bomb in Boston and blew up all the people committing the who were running in the marathon? You know, 9/11, like there's like you can go through all the terrorist attacks we've had like throughout the world, but United States, like almost everyone committed by a radicalized Muslim. So to me, once you hit the radicalization and you're a Muslim, you're a terrorist, and I kind of lump them all in with Hamas and ISIS. Like Hamas, ISIS, it's all the same thing. They're cut from the same cloth. They're a threat. They're violent. And good job, CZ Binance, for stopping their account. That's good stuff. Israeli police have frozen cryptocurrency accounts linked to Palestine militant group, Hamas, local media outlet, citing official press statement. Blah blah blah. We already know what's going on with the attacks. Sam Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend Caroline Ellison arrives at court to testify against him in court over FTX's crypto collapse. Caroline Ellison was seen entering Manhattan federal court this morning. Ooh, man. You know, imagine your little fuck buddy who you told all your little dirty secrets to. Now she's going to be testifying against you. This is every man's worst dream. You get locked up, and the feds bring in your little fuck buddy, and you know she knows all your little secrets, and she has to tell all your little secrets too, because if she doesn't, she's going to jail too. Oh my God. Bankman-Fried, 31, is currently facing federal charges over the company's stunning collapse this year. Good stuff. I found this story. We talked about it yesterday. The $6 billion sent over to Iran for the prisoner swap. Already the mainstream media is trying to play it down, saying, oh my God, yeah, they gave Iran $6 billion, who is the biggest funder of terrorism throughout the world, including Hamas, but that money has been untouched. It's such a scam. Like if somebody gave me $1 million tomorrow, like I wouldn't have to spend that $1 million right away. I would be like, wow, I have $1 million. I'm just going to deplete my money I have in my savings account right now, and then I have the $1 million. So because technically the Iranians haven't used the $6 billion yet. That means that it didn't help in these attacks. Of course it did. When you have $6 billion in a bank account, that really does help. They already had billions of dollars anyway, but they knew with $6 billion extra, they could spend as much money as they want, and then they have another $6 billion to draw from. So, but I think now the people in the mainstream media are, or I think American citizens are seeing that the mainstream media is just so corrupt. It's absolutely corrupt. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's like the main thing going on. Like I said, the main thing everybody's talking about is, oh my God, Bitcoin's down $300. Get the fuck over it. Oh my God, Bitcoin dominance has gone up. Okay, get the fuck over it. This happens every cycle. Oh my God, my altcoin's down 3%. Okay, get the fuck over it. Like today's lesson is get the fuck over it. Like stop being a big pussy about everything. Yes, the world is a crazy, horrible place, but Bitcoin, crypto is not doing anything different than it's always done. Yeah, if Bitcoin dropped to $15,000 and Cardano drops to 10 cents, I'll be the first one to say, Houston, we kind of have a problem here. That's not happening. Bitcoin hit a low of 15,000. Now it's back up to almost 20 or 28,000. So all par for the course. We got the Bitcoin halving in 6 months. And right after that Bitcoin halving, I agree 100% with CZ Binance. Over that year, it's going to be like, wow, like I should have bought more crypto. Even me, who's been buying crypto for the last couple years, I guarantee you this time next year, I'm going to be saying to myself, I should have bought more crypto. But, you know, I'm a risk-averse kind of guy. Like, I cannot put so much money in crypto, like, even though I want to. Like, right now I have way more money than I should in crypto, and it is risky, but I'm willing to take that risk. But I know deep down in my heart that my portfolio is going to minimally 20x from where it is right now, and best case scenario, a lot of coins are going to 50x. And, but of course, like I said in my video yesterday, and pretty much I try to say it all the time, there's no guarantee. This shit's risky. I could put money in Bitcoin, it could go to zero, Cardano could go to zero, Theta could go to zero. You know, these are risky coins, but we have a treasure map, we have the 4-year cycles, and we know exactly what is going to happen. Yes, history doesn't always repeat, but history rhymes. All right, guys, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.